Now, with South Korea seeing around 200,000 new COVID-19 cases each day, it's an important task in this presidential election to safely secure the votes of those either confirmed or suspected to have COVID-19. However, the National Election Commission is currently under heat for problems during early voting on Saturday. We have our reporter Kim Yeon-seung on the line to tell us more on this. So Yeon-seung, let's start with what went wrong.
Well, there was confusion at polling sites on Saturday. Voters who are isolating or who have COVID-19 were supposed to get a chance to vote between 5 and 6 p.m. on Saturday. But according to the National Election Commission, there were almost 1 million people who voted after 5 p.m. And with so many voters heading to the polling booths during this small time frame, people had to wait in long lines. And a lot of them said that they didn't know what was going on. Some say that voters with COVID-19 weren't properly separated from the other voters. The second problem seemed to be with the ballot boxes. Those voters who are isolating or those who had COVID-19 didn't have a proper ballot box of their own and had to put their ballots into a temporary bag or container. Not being able to see their votes go into a proper ballot box has stirred up a lot of concern among voters about whether their votes are being properly counted. President Moon Jae-in also addressed the situation and said that he's deeply sorry to hear that this has happened, and he ordered the NEC to properly explain to the public what had happened and make sure there's no confusion on Election Day. The National Election Commission has apologized repeatedly over the weekend and on Monday morning held an emergency meeting behind closed doors about how to improve the process.
Right. So Yeon-seung, what came up in the meeting, and will there be any changes on Election Day?
Well, the details have not yet been announced, but NEC may decide on making some changes on official Election Day. During early voting, there was a separate polling booth for those with COVID-19, but during Election Day, voters might have to vote in the same booth after voting wraps up for the other voters. So this might resolve the problem of long lines and infected and non-infected voters coming into contact with each other. The NSC is also looking into the possibility of allowing voters with COVID-19 to put their ballots in the official ballot box. They previously separated the ballots over worries that it could be a health hazard, but since this has been heavily criticized, the NSC is discussing other options. Back to you, Mogyun.
Right, Yeon-seung, thank you so much for the updates.